Anyone who owns Vitadao should watch this video to completion because I have a very exciting video for you guys updating all of the current proposals for Vitadao and some very exciting news, the first of its kind news which will set a precedent for all of decentralized science. So let's get right into this. First up, Vitadao and Cryodao are likely to be joining forces here in the next couple of days. The proposal for Vitadao and Cryodao to join forces and amplify cryopreservation research for the purposes of longevity is currently underway. They have proposed this to Vitadao via a proposal mechanism, surprise, surprise here, and there is currently 3 days left to vote on this. So far, we have quite a bit of people voting for this proposal. I believe we can come back here and check it out to see the exact numbers. 52% quorum reached, so not quite there yet, and it seems to have a little bit of contention going on right now, but we shall see where this ends up in 3 days. If you hold tokens and you feel strongly one way or another, you should definitely go try and vote on this. Read through everything and see what's going on. I believe the goal here is to just foster the relationship, because you know that likely while longevity is becoming a larger and larger narrative, we're not actually going to have that leaps and bounds in longevity research here where people start to live forever or even hundreds of years. I believe we'll likely see people live to be 200 years in the next, well, 100 or 200 years. Like someone born right now is going to live to be 200 years old, right? But that's still not longevity in the grand scheme of everything. There's a lot of rich people right now who want to live forever, and they know that longevity is not going to get them to that point right now. They need some sort of preservation skills, some set of cryopreservation to make it so that they can actually, hopefully, live forever, which is kind of weird. You guys might have feelings one way or another on it, but it makes sense. Cryogenic preservation is a subset of longevity research, and since Vitadao is focused on longevity research, I feel like this partnership is just the most logical. Something you can pay attention to here is that BioXYZ, Vitadao reposted BioXYZ's quote tweet of Cryodao saying the new proposal is live. So you can see all the parties at play here. BioXYZ is the platform, the launch pad for both Vitadao and Cryodao. So if there is going to be any relationship fostered here, it would go through BioXYZ. That's why I'm very bullish on the BioXYZ drop whenever that token does come. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's video, which if you guys recognized anything behind me, it is literally at Discover Crypto's main studio right now. I hijacked the room. Nobody even knows I'm in here except for one person, but that's why I got the microphone here. It's exciting. We got a lot of cool stuff I'm seeing behind the scenes. I'm literally looking at all their camera equipment, but I'm still on my computer because I don't want to mess with anything here. There's like 7 cameras pointed at me right now. And the next thing up, if we come over to Vitadao's tweet that they made, they talked about the partnership with Cryodao, but then they also talked about this proposal for compensation policy. Now, this you might not have any actual interest in, but it is kind of showcasing the precedent for why you should be paying attention to what proposals are being made into the ecosystem, right? So right now, the Cryodao partnership is at a 79% quorum reached, versus the proposal for compensation is only at 52. So if we kind of take a closer look at this, you'll see that people who are stewards of Vitadao, so people who are actually contributing, are making fat stacks right now. They're getting up to 25,000 Vita tokens monthly. They want to reduce that to 10,000 Vita tokens monthly. They also right now are receiving USDC compensation, so just straight up cash in stablecoins. The limit is supposed to increase by 36%. So essentially, they no longer want to be paying out the contributors in Vita tokens. They'd rather just do cash, which is beneficial to us to some capacity because now they're not going to be paying in tokens, so the tokens won't dilute us as much. However, it's a little bit sketchy because these tokens are locked up. So what they'll do with some of the other tokens, it just doesn't go to the insiders who are helping out as much. It's funny because you can actually see on the proposal where they are only at a 52% here. It means that a lot of the people who have tokens, who are actually voting on these things, don't want to see their compensation be changed into stablecoins. They have conviction in the Vita token, and they would rather hold on to the Vita token for as long as possible, which makes sense to me. I mean, if I firmly believe Vita is going to go to $100 per coin, and so if I'm getting paid 25,000 of these Vita tokens per month, I'm obviously going to want to continue to get paid in that, right? if you have a long-term vision, you're obviously going to want to continue to get paid in that. It is, we'll see where this goes. I have a feeling it's not going to pass, or it's going to barely pass. Something that did pass with 99% approval rate, and this is why you guys should be paying attention to the video. When I said earlier to watch this video through completion, I fully mean it, because this is groundbreaking news, guys. This is actually the first of its kind. We have Vitadao, which has funded multiple scientific studies at this point. I believe they've funded like 14 different companies and done a ton of different research proposals. But the first one of these proposals has now become a biotech company. Bio, IPNFT, the first research project that got funded, this is the first one that it's completed the loop. The first project, which has been funded, generated intellectual property, which they tokenized, put back into the treasury, and now have successfully launched a biotech company. Now, this biotech company has a product. It could end up being super successful, or it could end up flopping. We're going to have to wait and see. This is unprecedented areas. This is untreaded water, whatever the saying is. It's getting very exciting to see the progress that everything is making. Vitadao is, again, paving the way forward for a lot of these projects to follow. This biotech company has the possibility to one day IPO on the stock market. Not saying it's going to, I'm just telling you the scope at which this is becoming. It's called Bio. It's the next generation tRNA suppressors for rare diseases and aging. I'm a nerd, so I'm going to explain a little bit of what's going on here. They have more in depth if you guys want to read more about the science. I will link all of the articles that we talked about here, all the links that are needed in the video description here. But essentially, anytime, I'm not going to actually read this to you. I'm just going to explain it in my own words. So every time your cells grow, they reproduce, they're splitting in half and creating two of the exact same cell. So your DNA, you have a helix, right? They split the DNA in half, and on one half, they have a transcript that you can read and get the other half of the DNA, and then they just build the other half on top of that initial half. So now you'll have split the DNA into two parts, and you can build out the other half based off of what you have, right? If you have 50% of the DNA, you can build the other 50% because it's just science, guys. I don't know how else to explain that to you. But the problem is not occasionally, very often, the body will accidentally misread part of the DNA. Maybe it's curled on itself too many times and it's just like really hard to read it. It's written in gibberish. Nobody knows what it says. The body makes a mistake. That mistake is a mutation. Those mutations are very dangerous. That's where cancer comes from. That's where tumors can come from. That's where a lot of ailments in the body can come from. This company developed a drug which stops a certain type of nonsense mutation, a mutation that just makes no sense. And so they're actually able to suppress the outcome of that particular nonsense mutation and enable a normal protein formation, which is very exciting, very cool. I love to see it. It's in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University. So we are not just separating regular science from DeSci, right? They're not two competing realms. We're actually working together to just improve upon the normal system. And that's something I'm super bullish on. That's something I want to see happen in the rest of crypto, because you're never really going to succeed, in my opinion, if you completely spearhead and fight the existing establishment. You need to act like a virus, get into the establishment and dismantle it from the inside. Post editing, I'm interjecting here for a second because I forgot to mention that the last time Vitadao had funded some research and it came out with intellectual property that they were able to tokenize, it was molecule IP NFT number 2. It was Vita Fast. You can go find this on Dex Tools. You can see that it launched down here at a very, very small price of $1 per coin and skyrocketed all the way up to just under $15. So it was a quick 15x in the span of about 3 months. It has since come back down to that $5 area with a $4.8 million market cap. So it's just something to pay attention to. Could this new nonsense mutation, this new art and bio, could the IP NFT do something similar? It is very possible. I would pay close attention to everything, especially over at Molecule. Molecule is where most of these NFTs are being tokenized and put into the treasuries. So just a little bit extra alpha for you guys. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this was a worthwhile investment to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.